Very happy to be here today with you all. It's a very special day, um, long in the making, and we couldn't be more excited to finally announce our entry into the Saudi market. So this webinar is designed and for the purpose of giving you guys an insight and a real deep dive actually into the stake journey, if you will, the stake product, and what we're trying to achieve in the kingdom. Um, we have been quite busy, as you might have seen in our, kind of announcements up to here, and we can't be happier today to be with you, explaining everything and addressing all your questions towards the end. Let's kick off first by taking a step back and giving you guys just a quick recap on what is stake, who we are, and why we're here, why we exist. We started the business really because I've just kicked off. Sorry, but we're going to be three of us on this webinar. Just jumped slides, and it's me, Ricardo, and Hanouf. You're gonna hear from all of us on this call. Let me go back to what I was starting off with. Basically, we started this business basically and went on this mission that we are on because we saw kind of real pain points within the real estate asset class. It's been restricted to only a small group of or a small segment of the population. If you take a kind of overall look at it, you needed to have a very high upfront capital requirement to participate. You also were very inconvenienced in the process of actually buying property. There was a lot of hassle around it before state came to the picture. There was also only one way of entering, which was buying a property on your own, and that means putting your eggs in one basket. That's like concentration, we say. And from a transparency perspective, the market doesn't really give you too much information. You really needed to kind of go out and get it yourself. There's an information asymmetry, they say, when it comes to sellers and buyers. The sellers know more than the buyers. So we're here to kind of smoothen that information kind of asymmetry for you guys. And in terms of alternatives, we know that REITs were at least in the UAE non-existent, but in Saudi Arabia they exist, but they have their own issues which we can address at a later stage. And lastly, but not least, the properties because they're so big and they require in terms of capital only a smaller segment of people can buy them. By lowering down the barrier, if you widened out the market, you can address liquidity straight on. Sorry, that's why Stake started and made it its mission to empower everyone to own and build wealth through real estate. So very fast, our value propositions are essentially six value propositions here. You have buying fractional is better than buying a whole home. You can start from $500. 500 dirhams, which is $136 for all our international investors listening. We can do it very fast because it's all done digitally. So all that inconvenience that comes around buying, typically on your own and signing up to a lot of paperwork and so on is totally ironed out and no more friction. When you do it all online on an app like ours, you diversify. By the same token of entering, with smaller tickets. So with the same amount of capital that you're looking to deploy, you can put it into a portfolio that manages your risks, much better. And from a transparency perspective, we give a lot of information that empowers you to make your own decision as an investor. We distribute typically dividends on a monthly basis for the large majority of our products on the app. And then we also allow you to liquidate your share in each of the properties that you own in organized periodic windows. So what's our track record so far in the UAE? We've managed to grow the business so far to about 833,000 users from 170 different countries and 207 nationalities. We really pride ourselves with this. It's a a mirror of how Dubai has established itself as a magnet for capital for abroad, and we have been recognized by the top media and very happy with the growth over the years that has allowed us to really distribute almost 23 million dirhams in income to our investors. We've crossed 500 million dirhams in total value of property transactions done through the platform. Specifically, it's at 555 million. And now, it's just getting started because we're about to, kind of take it to the next level. A small glimpse here, a snapshot of what we built, 330 properties in under 4 years that we have under management. A lot of them, we've really created value out of them. You can see on the app and in front of you the way we handle these properties. We do that with care, and we do that with transparency, as I mentioned before. But with this, great mission that we're on, we find ourselves with a lot of, responsibility. And as our vision from the onset was to create a world where real estate is fully open, transparent, borderless, and liquid. We are, with our first foray into borderless, entering Saudi Arabia. We're going beyond Dubai and offering you some exciting and, I would say, first of their kind opportunities, more opportunities than for investment than we ever had the ability to do ever before through our market entry into Saudi Arabia. So welcome to Stake Saudi. And with this, I'm going to hand over to Hanouf bin Saeed, who is our general manager in KSA.
Hanouf, hi, Hanouf, sorry, you're muted. Can you just unmute yourself?
Thank you so much, Manar. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much, Manar. I'm absolutely honored to be here today and very much excited to share with you all Stake Saudi Arabia and to unlock the Saudi market to the world with a modern way of investment. I want to go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So we all know that the opportunity in Saudi Arabia and in the real estate market are unparalleled. And with the Saudi vision in hand and the goals to have the country grow and become a top global, in the top 20 of the global economy. And it was announced that Invest in Saudi, Saudi was ranked 16th when it comes to the G20. And this is something we're very proud of. Also, there's a target for the population in the city to grow from 7.5 million to be 12 million by 2030. We are very thrilled about the progress that's happening and the trillions of dollars worth of real estate investment projects that are underway and have been underway since 2017. The ultimate goal is to diversify the economy and move forward towards sectors such as renewable energy, entertainment, tourism, and technology. If I may go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so Stake aims to redefine real estate investments in Saudi Arabia. And why invest in Saudi Arabia? As we mentioned, today, Saudi Vision 2030 is moving on its way, and it's unfolding in phases where there is a housing boom and 1.5 million new houses units to be built by 2030. Also, the Saudi vision came very much from its strategic location being between 3 continents and the tourism surge and the goal to reach 150 million by 2030. And we are very much well along the way. We have achieved in 2023 100 million tourists coming to the country. We are here to make the impossible possible with a very seamless solution with Stake. Why invest through Stake? Because we have a proven record and proven expertise in the market. Our team is very much diverse with rich and knowledge industry experiences. We have dual regulations from the UAE with the DFSA and from Saudi Arabia as well with the CMA. We are very much Sharia compliant. We are adhering to Sharia laws for all transactions in KSA. And we're also a very much trusted platform where we are collaborating with reputable fund managers to source out and manage the opportunities and enable them in the application for everyone to be able to invest. And we're very excited. We're about to launch, and hope you go through an amazing journey with us. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So for the first time ever, anyone from anywhere in the world can invest in private real estate funds. Not only that, Stake is making the inaccessible accessible through a fund pool. We are similar to a REIT, you can say, but we are better. We are a single asset, and we have an exit plan. And it's very clear. It will show you very clearly how much you want to invest, when do you want to invest, what are your returns, and how much will you gain from your investment. Okay, generally these funds have been reserved for Saudi nationals, but now with this innovation and with Stake moving towards the future, we have enabled it also for the non-foreign resident, the foreign non-resident. And today, if you're sitting in London, you can invest through the app and have a stake in real estate in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Also, there's there is a good level of diversification where you get to choose if you want to do an income fund, an income fund or income generating fund, or you get to choose if it's a development fund as well. And we have different funds that are in real estate, either mixed use or residential, commercial, or logistic as well. Maybe we can move to the next slide. I'm also very proud to share that Stake Saudi is fully regulated, and it's backed by leading investors. As you can see here, our backers in the last round, Series A round, the investment round that was done, Aramco stepped in through Waad, Mubadala also stepped in, Al Jumaih Al Qabida, very well-known family, and this is Al Jumaih Holding, and Republic FinTech in the US. You can see we also have banking partners, and we have regulators that are supporting us, like the Capital Market Authority, and we are Sharia compliant. Our banking partners, as you can see here, yeah. So, a really huge part of our value creation here depends on having curated assets that are selected and vetted very carefully. We can share with you that we have an investment committee that is very, very diverse with young Saudi industry leaders who are Abdullah Saloom from الراجحي المالية وعبد أحمد المغامس from جدوى للاستثمار and عبد العزيز البسام from الجميح القابضة ومشاري العباد as well. Yes. And as mentioned before, we are today proudly 80 plus employees in stake, and we work together as a team to bring the modern digital tool and investment tool that will help the individual to build wealth with a very small amount like 500 riyal or 500 dirham. Our team is very much diverse in terms of industry experience, and we bring different perspective to the table. So everyone has something different to add, and that's how we work and come as a team and bring opportunities together. Thank you so much. Over to Ricardo.
Okay, great. So we are at the phase of showing our product and how does it work. If I can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so great. So for those that you know, I think most of the attendees already have the stake app. So you can use your existing stake app to access our KSA market and our KSA market opportunities. You can do that all in a seamless way. I'm going to show you how. That's the first thing. You don't need to download a new app. You don't need a new account. The stake app will be in English and Arabic as it normally is, so no change there. Just to cover some of the basics. Please, next slide. And just so you know as well, because we're going to be transacted in Saudi Arabia, all the transactions are bound to the Saudi riyal. So you're going to be transacted in SAR. We try to make this as easy as possible, and you can also adjust your currency preferences in terms of display preferences if you wish. Next slide. Okay, great. So we have this experience called Unlock. Unlock is a banner that will show up on your app automatically from tomorrow. For those that already have an account, you should be able to see it now. And by pressing that unlock button, you can unlock the KSA market. And from that unlock, and you can then switch between both markets. I'm going to show how that works. That banner is in the properties page or in your profile section. Next slide. Okay, great. So great news for Saudi residents and nationals. They can do the full KYC journey in one single step. We integrate directly with the government identity services like Abshare and Yakin. So you can do that in basically 2 steps by using an OTP on your mobile phone. So that's going to be very easy. I'm going to try to demonstrate that today. And retail investors can invest up to 200,000 reals per opportunity, per fund. If you are not a retail investor, if you are a qualified investor, you can apply to be classified as professional, where there is no limit to invest. Just some different things, maybe from our fractional operation in UAE. Each fund has a number of fund units, and each fund unit has a price. So you're going to be buying multiples of that fund unit price. And good news is that also credit cards are available. So no matter if you're a retail or professional, you can use your credit card to invest in Saudi Arabia. We also have some local payment methods like Sadad, which allows locals and residents to pay via a reference through the Sadad system. Okay, great. So what can you expect? Basically, existing users in Stake Dubai can basically switch, unlock, like I said. They can there is some compliance forms that need to be filled in, but nothing too scary. It's part of the different regulation. We are bound by the CMA. For residents and nationals, you can complete your identity verification through Abshir and Yakin. For non-residents or nationals, you can upload your passport and you can do a selfie. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to show that in a moment, so you just watch that space. Okay, let's get to the live product demo. I'm gonna share my screen now. And okay, great. So this is our stake app over here. I'm running this in a simulator. It's a development application. So the one that you have on your phone looks exactly like this one. So first of all, if you download the recent version of the app released today, you can immediately see that we have a new look and feel. We have a video here to explain how the stake Saudi works. I invite you to watch that later on, but I'm going to go straight and actually, given most of you are already existing users, I'm going to simulate the journey of an existing user, okay? For those that do not have a stake account yet, you can click sign up and you can then choose Saudi Arabia to sign up the account from. I'm not going to do that flow, but nevertheless, I'm going to leave that information here. Okay, we're going to log in now. I'm going to log in as a UAE user. I have a test user here ready to show you how this works. So after logging in, what you can see, you're going to land on our opportunity list in UAE, but you can immediately see in a very prominent fashion, we have here a call to action to unlock Saudi Arabia and to access this opportunity. You can learn more about our opportunity here. We actually have a great video from Anouf explaining the opportunity over here. Again, if you are interested, please watch that video. But we are trying to, like Bernard said, democratize and give access to these amazing, unique opportunities we have. And you can do that via a single app and accessing in a digital form that. By clicking unlock here, you're going to be basically creating an account in our Saudi Arabia platform in a single click. No need to put email or password. The only thing you need to do here is accept the terms and conditions. You can open that on your preferred PDF reader, or you can send it to your email. And after accepting, you're going to be able to access our stake app. The first thing you need to do is complete your onboarding. I'll walk you through the basics after completing onboarding, but let's try to complete onboarding first, and we'll do that together so you have no questions when it comes to you. So you have mainly three options here. You need to select the one that applies to you. In this case, I'm gonna sign up as a Saudi resident, but you can select any of the options. If you are a non-resident, you're going to be prompted to upload your passport. If you are a national resident, you're going to be prompted to only input some resident permit or national ID. I'm going to go ahead with this option here. I have some credentials here that I want to input. And then I'm going to select my date of birth. In this case, this is my test user, not my real date of birth, but okay, great, 26. Okay, that seems right. And after that, I'm going to receive a code on my registered phone number. Here, I'm simulating the experience. And this is it. Your identity has been verified. There was a verification online with the governmental services, and that came back with your details. So the only last step we need to do is the suitability assessment. This is a regulatory requirement from the Capital Markets Authority in Saudi Arabia. So I'm gonna try to complete that quickly in front of you, so we can then finally get to see the opportunity. It's a sequence of about 15 questions. Most of them are very easy to answer. So this is just to confirm that I'm the beneficial owner of this account. You need to confirm that. My marital status, my number of dependents, my address. I'm gonna put here an address. Okay, so that's my address. Now you need to put a bank account. This is a mandatory. This has an advantage because if you ever need to also withdraw funds, then we're gonna have your bank account on record. It's gonna be super easy later on to withdraw the funds from your income. I'm gonna put an IBAN here, and you can put a bank name. For Saudis, we have made this super easy by putting the most popular banks, Saudi residents. And here, I'm just gonna put a sample Swift code here that I have. Okay, so that's your bank details in. I do not have any other nationalities. This is your tax residency. This is important. So in this case, I'm gonna tick that does not mandate taxes. And then it goes to the other questions. So my education level, my current employment. I'm gonna put here quickly my details. You only need to do this once. So once you have done these steps, you don't need to do it again. I'm gonna put here some annual income, your net worth. And you may ask, why are these questions needed? These questions are needed because we need to assess your suitability to invest in these types of products. And by answering that, we can assess better what kind of risk profile you are in. So I'm going to say that I have some experience. If I ever invest in real estate, I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say that I invested. This is what I currently invested in. I'm going to say real estate and stocks. And what will be my investment objective? In my case, will be income. And how much do I plan to invest? I'm going to say 100 to 300K. And what's my horizon? I'm going to say 1 to 5 years. Okay, finally, we have this final question. This is just in case some of these situations apply to you. For example, if you worked in a financial sector, you need to refer here. If you have a prominent public function, you need to refer here. So we can do further checks. But again, I think for most people, this will not apply. But again, if it applies to you, we're going to check that. And then finally, we have our account opening agreement, which is a form of terms. You can also, again, download that. This is both in Arabic and in English, and you can accept for the ease of time. I'm going to just accept your profile, where you can have all your settings. This was my name pulled from the government services. This is all my settings. My settings cover things like language and currency. We have security settings here with multi-factor authenticator and a lot of more stuff. We have a unique reward for those that want to onboard on this first fund. We are basically crediting your wallet with 100 reals for you to invest on your first fund. So because I have completed my onboarding on my wallet, I'm going to see that I have already 100 reals. That was my sign-up gift. And on my portfolio, as expected, I see a portfolio value of 100 reals, which is the amount I have in cash. On your wallet, you can see all the transactions as they happen, deposits, withdrawals, everything you can see here. I go into investing. I'm going to put a certain amount. I'm going to, in this case, 10,000 reals. And I can select a payment method here. In my case, I want to select, I'm going to add the card. Here, my name. And I'm going to add a test card. So we tokenize your card and we store your card on file, and then you can use your card to make investments. So in this case, we have the investment amount, subscription fee, and we are deducting the 100 reals that I have in my wallet from my sign-up gifts. And this is as easy as it gets. You're going to be confirming the terms and conditions, also the fund terms and conditions. the account opening agreement and the suitability report. But by confirming all of that, you're gonna be able to pay. I have my 3DS here, which I'm gonna complete now. I didn't make a mistake. Okay, this was some error. But yeah, that's your investment confirmed here. I'm not going to dwell too much on the fund because I cannot show you so many details. But after this, you can continue and you can see the fund in your portfolio. And you can click to see more details about the fund. I'm not going to do that, but that is the whole A to Z from onboarding to investing.
Right. Let's kick off with a few questions I'm seeing around the Q&A. So we've got, how does the ownership of the shares will be documented as like DLD in the UAE? So as an investor in a private real estate fund in Saudi Arabia, you're going to get a unit certificate with your name and the number of units that you own in the fund. This is essentially stamped by both stake and the fund manager. That represents your ownership in the fund. The real, kind of enforceable or valid legal document is typically, held fund manager, which is a unit holder register. But your ownership is essentially um, governed by the capital markets authorities framework for investment funds, and is pretty robust and secure when it comes to legal enforceability. The property itself, of course, is going to be held by an SPV that represents the fund, a special purpose vehicle, just like the special purpose vehicles that we use in the UAE. Only the SPV is held by the custodian, typically in the name of the custodian, because every fund has a custodian. And that's also a CMA regulated entity that is in the business of uh, owning these assets on behalf of funds, providing that as a service. So the title deed to the property will be in the name of the SPV held by the custodian on behalf of the fund. In the UAE, you're not allowed some nationalities to invest, like Yemen, Syria. Is it the same with your KSA? I believe that is correct. The same sanctions lists will apply. We are under, strict KYC and AML, anti-money laundering regulations, as per the CMA rules, that prohibit us from, unfortunately, onboarding certain investors domiciled in these countries, unless we conduct, in certain cases, enhanced due diligence. So the same rules effectively apply. Will my bank charge any additional fees if I recharge my wallet via credit card? What we're doing is essentially trying to take on all the fees involved with both inbound and outbound kind of transfers or payment methods. Card fees themselves, we fully take those on board on our side. So you shouldn't be charged any surcharge. You'll, I believe, only be kind of charged by your bank a fee for converting whatever the local currency of your card is to Saudi riyals. But if it's a Saudi riyal credit card, for instance, then it's going to be a free of charge payment or deposit on stake. And your bank, if you're and soon to be, we'll have a product hopefully that's called pay to card. That's what I can add. Are these actual halal funds? Yes, absolutely. We only as a Sharia compliant platform, work with Sharia compliant fund managers, very much like our operations in the UAE. You can see on our website as well, we make available the Sharia certificate or fatwa provided by leading scholars of guidance, financial, our Sharia auditor and advisor.
I'll jump in and answer a couple as well. Somebody just asking about the exit period in Saudi. So in the UAE, yes, we have exit windows. They're available every 6 months. We currently don't have those in Saudi, but we do have plans to produce the exit windows in Saudi as well. So stay tuned for that. That is something that's on our horizon. Another question here, someone's asking, when can I start to invest in Saudi? So as mentioned, anybody on this call, you have been given access to invest. The current ticket is 50,000 SAR, but from the next few days, keep your eyes peeled, early next week, you will be able to invest from 500 SAR. But we do expect, like we said, that to go quickly. Just another question here regarding the, is it possible to choose individual properties in the UAE, like in KSA, like the UAE? So currently our license is for funds. There isn't regulation for fractional ownership in KSA. So that's why we've got our fund license. So in the short term, the plan is no, but if you do the full onboarding, you can explore our first fund. It's got a lot that our KSA users have been asking for some time. So I think you'll be really excited to see what that is if you do the full onboarding.
I see a question from Ramzi, which is how much are charges to enter and to exit? I try to tackle the ones when it comes to payment method, but when it comes to the fund investment, that comes with a subscription fee of 2%. And so if you kind of enter and exit at the same price, you stand to kind of be charged that amount. But obviously, the yield on the property would overcompensate actually for that particular, if you want, one-time fee that you'd be charged. Obviously, the longer you invest for, the better, because you kind of iron out the impact of that upfront fee over time, and actually you maximize your capital appreciation, very much like properties work in anywhere in the world. And we all know that real estate has high transaction costs upfront. Now, when can I exit and sell my units? So firstly, most again, very similarly to the UAE, our fund investment opportunities are all long-term, meant to be all long-term. There are going to be some shorter, kind of investment holding periods that we're eyeing in the future. But typically, for the large majority of our assets, those are meant to be held for 4 to 5 years. Then we are anticipating to, at one point in the future as well, to be rolling out the exit windows that we have in the UAE. So that will help drive, again, back to the kind of vision of what Stake is trying to achieve, is to address liquidity within this typically illiquid asset class, and very much part of our plan is to roll out exit windows in Saudi Arabia in the near future. When it comes to tax structure, Ibni is asking to elaborate on the capital gains in Saudi, which will be subject to as non-residents. It's a very good question. the only tax that applies to non-resident investors into Saudi Arabia is a 5% withholding tax that gets deducted only on profit that is generated out of an investment. So that includes dividends as well as capital appreciation that's realized at the time of the exit. So in a very simplistic way, to just look at whole numbers, if you make an investment of around 100 riyals, then that investment gives you a total profit over 4 years of let's say 200 riyals. Then the tax that would apply would only apply to if the investment exits with all its profits at 200 riyals, so your profits is 100 riyals, you would only be charged a withholding tax of 5% of the 100 riyal profit. So only 5 riyals would go away, and you'd make 95 on your first on your investment of 100. So I hope that answers the question. From which countries in the Middle East can we become stakeholders and buy shares in either Dubai stake or Saudi stake? Any country in the Middle East, barring the sanctioned countries that we talked about, Yemen and Syria, subject to enhanced due diligence, we can onboard and you can invest in our opportunities. Picking up a few other questions that we have. Is it possible to get a residency with my investment, same as we get in Dubai for the golden visa, especially if I'm a Gulf resident already? Well, that's not yet, I would say, a possibility. We're working on it. There is the premium residency concept that is, recently been rolled out, but I can't make any promises. It certainly is something that we're thinking about at our end here at Stake. Claudia is asking, what do the features for investing in KSA differ from the ones traditionally available on Stake in the UAE? The short answer is effectively not really, no. The example that I gave before is really ultimately you're buying direct to asset, just it's a single asset fund in most cases, where you're picking the assets that you want to build your portfolio with, and the assets are in most cases income generating and distributing to you a monthly dividend, just like in the UAE. So the underlying product when it comes to the real estate is just the same. In Saudi, of course, there are features, if you want, that are available additionally, like funding your investment with a credit card, higher limits as a retail investor. Typically, the CMA prescribes that a retail investor can invest up to 200,000 riyals, especially the Saudi retail investors per fund, whereas the DFSA limits retail investors limits to $100,000 annually across the board. I'm going to go on maybe just for another few minutes because we have a second webinar happening shortly at 30 past the hour, and we would need a bit of a transition period of about a few minutes, 5 minutes or so. So I'm just going to try and answer a few more questions. Christopher is asking, do we need to re-upload all documents that we shared during registration for the Dubai market? It's a great question. And the answer is no. The the documents, if you're fully onboarded and up to if your onboarding is up to date, are fully valid for your onboarding to happen at on the Saudi market when you switch experience or unlock Saudi. When it comes to additional requirements, yes, those would always apply because there's different set of regulations that the CMA prescribes versus the DFSA, and that one of them is actually nothing to do with onboarding or documentation. It is more about addressing questions relating to your suitability, which is the only incremental, I would say, requirement when you're looking to invest into Saudi and becoming fully onboarded on the Saudi side of the app. We have lots of questions around VAT. So just like in the UAE, where VAT applies on fees, this would be no different when it comes to your investment in Saudi Arabia. The VAT, of course, in Saudi Arabia is 15%, as opposed to 5% in the UAE. But so that comes with, kind of the territory there. I would say that because the fees are typically limited to a subscription fee only, you're going to pay that VAT on the 2% subscription fee at the time of investment. But when it comes to the fund level fees, for many of our pipeline of funds that are non-residential, essentially that are commercial, because commercial real estate requires VAT to be charged on rent, your fees, which are charged at the fund level, are going to be more cost efficient ultimately for your investment, because VAT at the fund level will be much lower than for a residential fund, for instance. But that's really kind of like a bit of a technicality. All right, I'm being told we're on on the dot now, crossing our limit in terms of timing. Thank you very much. I hope it was really informative. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can subsequent to this webinar or in the next. And I really look forward to welcoming you all on the app, and happy investing.